Welcome back, folks. Today we are diving into the golden era of JRPGs. First part of this timeline series is available on the channel. We define the main principles of a JRPG. We touched on influences and early JRPGs from two prominent series, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, both of which brought out the best of this genre that we will see on the next part we will cover now. Join me as we journey through some of the most iconic titles from the 90s. We'll explore their stories, gameplay innovations, and lasting legacies. So grab your potions and let's get started. Our adventure begins with Final Fantasy IV, released in 1991 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This game was a groundbreaking entry in the series, introducing the active time battle system that had a real-time element to turn-based combat. Players must act fast in order to have their party members survive the timed enemy attacks during battle. The visual and sound effects are much more improved from the previous iteration of the series, mostly due to the change in console. Another improvement to mention is the inventory system, which is far more user-friendly and made item management a lot easier. Players follow the story of Cecil Harvey, a dark knight of the Red Wings. Struggling with immoral actions ordered by his king, Cecil sets off on a journey of redemption. He is joined by Kane Highwind, a conflicted dragoon, Rosa Farrell, a white mage and his love interest, and Rydia, a young summoner from the Mist Village he unknowingly destroyed. Other characters join and leave the party as the story progresses, sometimes due to tragic events, revenge, or for the greater good, pushing the player to feel many up and down emotions. The narrative is rich with themes of love, betrayal, and sacrifice. Cecil's journey from a dark knight to a paladin is symbolic of his internal struggle and quest for atonement. His transformation is a pivotal moment that showcases the game's depth and emotional impact. I always felt like Cecil was an underdog, given the amount of unlucky moments he has faced, and rooted for his success of finding the right path. Final Fantasy IV's diverse cast includes characters like Edge, the fiery ninja prince, and Golbez, Cecil's estranged brother who serves as an antagonist manipulated by a greater evil. The game's complex plot and character development remain influential to this day, setting a new standard for storytelling in JRPGs. Next up is Dragon Quest V. Released in 1992, this game took a unique approach to storytelling by following the hero's life from childhood to adulthood, allowing players to experience major life events along the way. The narrative of Dragon Quest V is deeply personal, focusing on the protagonist's family and his quest to discover his lineage. Players start as a young boy, journeying with their father, Pankraz, before facing tragedy and being thrust into slavery. As the protagonist grows, he eventually marries and has children, who then join him in his quest. This multi-generational storyline is unique and adds emotional depth to the game. The monster recruitment system, where players can befriend and train monsters to fight alongside them, adds a strategic layer to the traditional turn-based battles. These allied monsters have their own set abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. It is great to see that Dragon Quest has added a simple action button to perform talking, searching, and other actions to replace using the action menu, which is still present. It seems that it was kept to smoothen the transition for those that are used to using it from the 4 previous games. Dragon Quest V's emotional depth, including the hero's experience of love, where you can choose a bride, loss, and legacy, make it a standout title for the JRPG. The dual world system and intricate plot twists keep players engaged throughout the journey, culminating in a battle against the evil Grandmaster, Nimzo. Also released in 1992, Final Fantasy V expanded on the job system, offering players unparalleled character customization. This system allowed characters to switch between various classes, each with unique abilities and skills, creating diverse party dynamics. The story revolves around Bart's Clauser and his companions as they strive to protect the elemental crystals from the villainous AitsZ, an evil warlock seeking to return the world to the void. The group includes Princess Lena, the Amnesia Galof, and the pirate Captain Ferris. The game's humor and lighthearted moments are balanced with high stakes, drama, and epic battles. The job system's flexibility allows for a wide range of playstyles and party compositions, making each playthrough unique. Players can mix and match abilities from different jobs, creating powerful combinations and strategies. This iteration of Final Fantasy was not the first to create a job system, but it had many more jobs that can be attained as the story progressed. Abilities also were changed and added for each class in comparison to Final Fantasy III. Final Fantasy V's strategic gameplay and engaging world make it admired among fans. It was disappointing that this game was never released in North America, despite being so unique to the Final Fantasy series. The deep job system, combined with a compelling narrative, offers extensive replayability and a rewarding experience for RPG enthusiasts. Breath of Fire, Capcom's entry into the RPG genre, was released in 1993. The game features Ryu, a hero who can transform into a dragon, and his quest to save the world from the dark forces threatening it. The transformation of Ryu into different dragons that each have different abilities and strengths is something unseen with the JRPG of the past. This variety of transformation provided leverage for you in battle. The game combines traditional turn-based combat with unique character abilities, such as Nina's healing magic. There were also abilities that could be used outside of combat. Bo could hunt animals on the world map, and Karn could pick locks. This encouraged players to utilize different characters to explore the game world fully and solve various puzzles. The story is rich with lore, focusing on the ancient conflict between the Light and Dark Dragon clans. Ryu's journey is one of discovery and self-realization, as he uncovers the truth about his heritage and the destiny of the Dragon Clan. Along the way, he forms alliances with a diverse cast of characters, each bringing their own strengths and personalities to the party. Minigames such as hunting and fishing were introduced, which provided items to your party with each successful catch or hunt. This encouraged players to explore and interact with the environment more. With its engaging plot, memorable characters, and challenging gameplay, Breath of Fire quickly became a beloved classic. The visuals overall have of course improved, especially seen in the battle screen when the characters attack or use spells. It feels more detailed and realistic. The game's exploration elements and dragon transformations add depth to the overall experience, making it a standout title in the genre. Also released in 1993, Secret of Mana is renowned for its real-time combat system, that you are able to freely move characters and attack enemies directly. A cooperative multiplayer gameplay, one of the first for a JRPG, an innovative aspect that I enjoy and wish JRPGs would implement more. Take note of this other interesting aspect, that if you do not play with other human players, the characters they would normally control become AI controlled in a customizable behavior. Players control a party of heroes fighting to restore balance to the world by harnessing the power of the mana tree. The game's innovative ring menu system allows for quick and intuitive access to certain actions, streamlining the gameplay experience. When the menu is clicked, the game will pause, allowing the player to strategically choose an action such as a spell or using an item. Most will argue that Secret of Mana is more of an adventure than a JRPG because of the real-time aspects, but with maintaining some actions in a menu command that pauses the real-time element. I believe it leans more towards a JRPG. It also had a unique leveling system for weapons and spells. The more they were used, the higher the level and thus becoming more effective. Though one element it removed was a separate overworld and battle screen, but instead opted for a seamless, interconnected world that added a sense of cohesiveness for beautifully illustrated environments. The story follows a boy, a girl, and a sprite as they battle against an evil empire seeking to exploit mana for destructive purposes. The boy, known as Randy, is the game's protagonist who pulls a mana sword from a stone, setting off the chain of events. The girl Prim is determined to rescue her kidnapped fiancé, while the sprite Pop-Boy seeks to regain their lost memory. Secret of Mana's beautiful world, engaging story, and memorable soundtrack have made it a timeless classic. The game's cooperative play feature allows friends to join in the adventure, making it unique and an enjoyable experience. The blend of action, exploration, and RPG elements creates a dynamic and immersive gameplay experience. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, another 1993 release, is a classic JRPG that features a gripping story involving the Sinistrals, powerful beings threatening the world, and the protagonist's quest to defeat them. The story begins with a flashback to a battle between the Sinistrals and 4 legendary heroes. Years later, the descendant of one of these heroes embarks on a quest to stop the Sinistrals' return. Along the way, he is joined by Lufia, a childhood friend with a mysterious past, and other allies. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom's compelling narrative, well-developed characters, and intricate gameplay made it respected with JRPG fans. Though the game did lack innovations and it mostly relied on already implemented JRPG aspects. Nothing wrong with sticking to traditions that introduced the genre, I just wouldn't quite place it as groundbreaking. In 1994, Earthbound brought a fresh and quirky perspective to the JRPG genre. Set in a contemporary world rather than a medieval fantasy one, the game follows Ness, a young boy with psychic abilities, as he embarks on a journey to save the world from the evil alien Gygus. I was skeptical about the setting, but it grew on me after further playing. They did a fantastic job of satirically portraying the American culture. Ness is joined by Paula, a girl with powerful psychic abilities, Jeff, a genius inventor, and Pooh, a martial artist with mystical powers. Together they travel through strange and humorous locations, encountering quirky characters and bizarre enemies along the way. A cool new feature was the auto win, that when you encounter an enemy and your party is significantly stronger, the game would automatically resolve the battle with a win without going to the battle screen, reducing the unnecessary repetitive battles. Speaking about the battle screen, it was disappointing to see how primitive it was compared to some of the JRPGs during this time. It mimicked the early Dragon Quest game first-person perspective, and did not have much of a visual when attacked or being attacked. The sound effects were also monotone. Earthbound's charm lies in its mix of the ordinary and the extraordinary. Players visit towns, shopping malls, and even fight alien invaders, all while collecting melodies to defeat Gygus. The game's distinctive humor, emotional depth, and unconventional style have earned it a cult classic status. The game's exploration of themes like friendship, courage, and the battle against overwhelming evil resonate deeply with players. Earthbound's unique approach to storytelling and its memorable characters ensure its place as a timeless JRPG favorite. Later in 1994, Final Fantasy VI hit the shelves and became an instant classic. Known for its ensemble cast, the game features characters like Tara Branford, a mysterious young woman with a hidden past, and Kefka Palacio, one of the most iconic villains in gaming history, for his maniacal, harlequin personality that had an unquenchable thirst for blood. It was the first time in the Final Fantasy series that the main villain developed from being a simple general in an empire to being the ultimate evil. The narrative is a masterclass in storytelling, blending drama, humor, and tragedy. Despite being a video game, it dealt with some mature and graphic themes such as suicide, the effects war has on people, and identity. The game's music, composed by Nobuo Uematsu, is legendary, enhancing every emotional beat of the story. Battles had more of an upbeat, catchy tone, and the sad scenes effectively switched into a softer, calm one. The plot revolves around a world under the control of the Gestalian Empire, which seeks to harness the powers of espers, magical beings from another dimension. Magicite can be found as you travel the world and can teach a list of spells to the person equipping it. Basically means anyone in your party can learn these spells. You can also summon the Esper associated to the Magicite once per battle. Something new during battle were the character abilities that required a perfect input prior to selecting the ability in order to work. Example, Sabin's Blitz. It just sucked badly when you missed the input even slightly, as the character would do nothing if that was the case. Terra, initially an unwilling pawn of the Empire, joins the Returners, a resistant group fighting for freedom. Slowly you learn of her past as the game provides cutscenes of bits and pieces of her flashbacks prior to being controlled. The game's character arcs are deeply interwoven, with each party member having a personal stake in the battle against the Empire and Kefka. Final Fantasy VI's innovative gameplay includes the ability to switch between multiple protagonists, each with unique abilities and story arcs. This allows for a rich, immersive experience that explores themes of rebellion, hope, and the human spirit. Kefka's ultimate betrayal and the apocalyptic destruction he causes are some of the most memorable moments in RPG history. FF6 is the first JRPG to be known for having a somewhat non-linear storyline, where events can be completed in various orders. Often hailed as one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, Final Fantasy VI continues to influence the genre with its deep narrative, memorable characters, and groundbreaking gameplay. It is a JRPG you simply have to play in order to appreciate the genre as a whole. In 1995, Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals was released as a prequel to the original Lufia game. This title is highly praised for its deep storyline, innovative puzzle-solving elements, and engaging turn-based combat. Lufia 2 follows the story of Maxim, a monster hunter, and his journey to defeat the Sinistrals. Maxim's adventure leads him to form a party with characters like Tia, his childhood friend, Silan, a powerful warrior, Guy, a strong fighter, and Artia, an elven prince. The game stands out with its challenging and creative puzzles that players must solve to progress through dungeons. These puzzles often require the use of different tools and abilities, adding a layer of complexity and engagement to the exploration. It seems to have taken some influence from the adventure genre, where bombs are used to break through walls and arrows are used to hit distant switches. Lufia 2's combat system allows for strategic planning, with characters having unique abilities and spells. The story explores themes of destiny, sacrifice, and the battle between good and evil, culminating in an epic confrontation with the Sinistros. Capsule monsters were also introduced, where these monsters became an AI-controlled companion. They assist in battles and eventually grow and change forms when fed different items, giving this JRPG a unique pet-raising element. It also had early roguelike elements, with the Ancient Cave a 99 optional floor with randomly generated layouts and unique challenges. With its compelling characters, intricate puzzles, and deep narrative, Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistros remains a beloved classic. Its blend of challenging gameplay and emotional storytelling continues to resonate with players, securing its place as a standout title in the JRPG genre. It was a big step up from the previous iteration, introducing much more new innovative aspects. Chrono Trigger, released in 1995, is a masterpiece from Square's Dream Team, which included creators from Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. The game features a unique time travel mechanic that affects the storyline and leads to multiple endings. To encourage replayability and the fact that there are multiple endings to Chrono Trigger, a New Game Plus mode was created to allow you to use your existing characters at their existing levels rather than starting over from scratch. Players follow Chrono and his friends as they journey through various time periods, from the prehistoric era to a post-apocalyptic future to prevent the end of the world. The game's innovative battle system, which seamlessly transitions from exploration to combat, is a standout feature, rather than having two separate screens for the overworld and battle. It also allows you to avoid monster confrontation when needed, instead of unavoidable random ones that occur when you travel through aggressive zones, such as caves and forests. During battle, a few new changes to note is the active battle system introduced in Final Fantasy IV has been improved, where the characters have a time countdown of when they can act. The initial time of the countdown is reduced depending on their speed. Once they act, the timer is reset and they have to wait until the bar reaches full to act again. This applies to enemies too, and the timer is always going even when you are in a certain sub-menu during battle. This works great if you need other players ready ASAP for dual and triple techs. Techs include physical abilities such as Chrono's Cyclone that does damage depending on his attack stat. The magical one such as Lightning depends on the magic stat. To learn the techs, the character needs to earn a certain amount of TP tech points from each battle. And a further addition are the double and triple techs, where they combine the compatible single techs into a more devastating attack. Certain monsters that are mobile can move positions while in battle, and can affect techs that attack certain area. The story begins at the Millennial Fair, where Chrono meets Marle, a princess who is inadvertently sent back in time. This sets off a chain of events that leads Chrono and his allies, including Luca, Frog, Robo, Ayala, and the mysterious Magus, on a quest to stop the malevolent entity Lavos. To help in defeating Lavos, side quests were available, and when completed, you will earn a valuable item or weapon. They also offered significant character development and insights in the game's lore. Chrono Trigger's characters are richly developed, each with their own distinct personalities and backstories. The game explores complex themes such as fate, free will, and the impact of individual actions across time, known as the butterfly effect. We see this in game when Marle, actually Princess Nadia, disappears from the present. Her ancestor Queen Leene had been kidnapped and no longer rescued, since the search team mistaken Marle for her when she was accidentally sent to the past. To bring Marle back to existence in the present, Chrono and team must rescue Queen Leene so she and the king may continue the royal family line. The in-game music and artistic mastery of each timeline, prehistoric, antiquity, Middle Ages, present, and post-apocalypse, created an immersive and vibrant world. The music made me feel as if I was actually walking around during the antiquity period in the advanced nation of Zeal, or dancing with the primitive humans in the prehistoric era. And to take it a step further in terms of the visuals, the PSX version added full motion videos for important events that further engage the player. With its innovative gameplay, engaging story, and highly addictive memorable soundtrack, Chrono Trigger is a timeless classic that continues to capture the hearts of gamers. My favorite JRPG that I had played, and in my opinion, one of the best. When you play Chrono Trigger, bring out the popcorn as if you are watching a movie, because you will enjoy the exciting, sad, and terrifying moments. Also in 1995, Dragon Quest VI introduced a dual world system where players navigate both the real world and the dream world. This mechanic adds depth to the game's exploration and storytelling. The game follows the hero who begins his journey in the dream world only to discover the existence of the real world. The interplay between these two worlds is central to the plot, with actions in one world affecting events in the other. Dragon Quest VI features a robust job system similar to Final Fantasy V, allowing for extensive character customization. Players can switch jobs and gain new abilities, providing a dynamic and flexible gameplay experience. The hero is joined by a diverse cast including Carver, a strong and loyal fighter, Millie, a kind-hearted and mysterious woman, and Ashlyn, a spirited magician. Together they confront the evil Murdoch and uncover the secrets of the dual worlds. I would have wished this original game was released in North America, but sadly it was only released for the Super Famicom in Japan. In 1996, Nintendo and Square teamed up to create Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. The game combines traditional RPG elements with Mario's platforming roots, resulting in a unique and charming experience. Players join Mario, Bowser, Princess Toadstool, and new characters like Mallow and Geno as they quest to recover the 7 star pieces and repair the Star Road. The game's turn-based combat includes time button presses for attacks and defenses, adding an interactive element to battles. Super Mario RPG's humor, engaging story, and beloved characters make it a standout title in both the Mario and RPG genres. Its vibrant graphics and memorable music further enhance the experience, making it a must-play for fans of both franchises. The game featured isometric 3D graphics, where they were on a 2D plane, but made to look 3D, which was the case for most games during this time, as actual 3D was still in its early stages. The isometric 3D was well done and added depth to the exploration portion of the game. The game's story begins with Bowser kidnapping Princess Toadstool, only for both to be disrupted by the arrival of the Smithy Gang, who invade from another dimension. Mario RPG also simplified the JRPG mechanics, attracting an audience unfamiliar to the JRPG. It also had tutorials to help with those who were not familiar with them or even the unique mechanics of this game. The blend of platforming elements, puzzle solving, and RPG mechanics creates a dynamic and engaging gameplay experience. It was a nice break to see Mario facing against an enemy other than Bowser for once. Even going as far as teaming up with him made the game that more interesting and original. Super Mario RPG's legacy endures as a beloved classic that bridged the gap between traditional JRPGs and platformers. And there you have it, a journey through some of the most iconic JRPGs of the early 90s. Each of these games has left an incredible mark on the genre, contributing to its evolution and enduring popularity. On the next video, we will continue the timeline into the late 90s to 2000s, where the JRPG has changed significantly and has had some timeless games. Which of these games is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more gaming content. Until next time, keep exploring adventures.